What? I wish that I could. My mom used to think that song went like, I wish that I could be like the cookies. She used to think that song went like that. I can't. Senora. Freaky Carlos! Someone commented with the font. It's so good. Okay. Oh my god, that stupid fire alarm. I can't. It won't focus. It won't focus. I can't. I hope it focuses when the time comes. Oh my god, I need it to focus! Okay, it's focused. This setup, yeah, no, I tried to set up the tripod, but there was like, this is on a table right now, I'm on the couch, the tripod was like taking up so much space, and like the camera was like, kept covering stuff, or like on my face, or like on the computer. I was like, dude, I can't. Welcome! I don't know. I mean, to be safe, go in the other room. If you can, that would be appreciated. Oh my god, you guys, I am playing Can't Buy Me Love by my friend Bramiliana. Thank you, Sasha. Dude, I'm so excited to play this. Like, I can. Okay. Let's start. Actually, let me look at options. Okay. Oh, text speed, auto forward time. I see. Oh my god, you can see my reflection. That's so funny. Okay. What's your name? Should I put Sigma Carlos or Carlos? I'll just put Carlos. I don't know. Let me see if people want to decide. Rizzer Carlos. Now that's a new one. Just join now. I'm locking in. No, literally, I'm locking in right now as well. Hello, guys. Should I put Sigma Carlos or Carlos? It literally doesn't matter. I'm putting Carlos in. Okay. Carlos? Oh my god. That's right. You've got it wrong, bastard. Oh my god. I hope TikTok doesn't take this down. Oh my god. I would be actually devastated. But, oh my god. The focusing is so stupid. That's right. Hello, Carlos. Ta very much. Let's get started then, by gum. Goodbye. 22nd November 1963. Sigh. Another day in England. Your alarm clock was ringing. You already shut it off twice. Jesus. No, because like I get waken up just from birds. And then I can't sleep anymore. Like, that's crazy. From the window, it seemed that the weather was overcast. Winds light to variable. Rain very possible. Ugh. That's so lovely. I love rain. You sat yourself up with the usual aches and pains. No, literally. Sasha, you're so real. From the edge of the bed, you can see yourself reflected in the mirror. You were a plain-looking girl, a regular girl, nothing remarkable at all. You were very plain. If you were walking down the street, heads would not turn. Yes, a regular girl. The most run-of-the-mill female girl. I'm dying already. You smirked. Though there was one thing that wasn't like the other girls. Unlike other foolish members of your generation listening to that modern 1963 garbage, you listened to real music. Despite being only 18, you didn't care to keep track of the pop groups. They were all the same to you. It wasn't easy, of course. Nobody understood. Other times when walking home, school children would follow you on their bikes. Old music fan, look at the freak, she listens to old music. They would jeer as they pelted you with rocks. Why don't you go listen to some swing jazz, old music fan? Regardless, you made your way out of bed and began to get ready for another day of 1963 English high school. Y'all, Sasha wrote this so good. Also, look at all these details. We got Garfield. We got, oh my god. Oh, crap. Oh my god, I accidentally tapped it. But we got Clarabeau. Like, that's so awesome. Mom says, Carlos! You rolled your eyes, probably mad you would miss the school bus again. Oh god. What's this game on? It's on my friend's website, bramiliana.itch.io or something like that. But search up like Beatle visual novels, see if that comes up. The buses in Ringland are red.
Ringland?
In England, bye! In Ringland. In England. They drive on the left side of the road. Thank you so much. They have 2 levels, so you can take a crazy staircase to the 2nd floor. You skip downstairs, running your hand along the staircase railing. God, Sasha's so funny for this. Oh, God. Your mom was in the kitchen table smoking a cigarette. My mom doesn't smoke, but I guess she does in the story. You made a big face. She was playing that awful modern 1960s pop on the radio. Sometimes you wondered if she did it just to make you angry. She did hate you after all. Oh, God. She looked tired, more so than normal, but she was wearing a brand new mink fur coat. Huh, that was new. But that didn't make sense. You were behind on rent and utilities. What was she doing spending money on luxuries? Well, I'm off to high school. Bye, Mom. She stood up dramatically from the kitchen table, her wine glass knocked over, and so did her other liquors. Oh. Like who you are! Oh my god, this is a beautiful picture, wow. You turned confused. Eh? A malicious grin crossed your mother's face. You think you're so great! Costing me money, draining my finances, eating food, growing out of clothes. Turning the volume all the way up as you play those retro phonograph cylinders. 18 long years. Well, guess what? You're 18 now. And that means... You were taken by shock, your school bag hanging off your delicate feminine shoulder. It was true. Your 18th birthday was just a few weeks ago. Her remembering now, geez. Not that she'd done anything. You thought she'd forgotten. Oh my god, previous. Evidently not. Sasha is a genius for putting previous on there. Oh my god, I would have skipped it. She sighed, pouring another glass of rosé. I think that's what it says. He'll be here any moment. Be here? Who? Your new owner? Do you want to say hi?
Yeah.
It's B. Your new owner.
Okay, bye.
There was a knock at the door. You were sweating. Who the hell is that? Your mom sighed. Beatle Paul McCartney! I sold you to Beatle Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney of the Beatles. Him. I can't say that. The door swung open, a cheeky looking C on the other side. What? Mom, you can't be serious. Her gaze was as cold as the first time she laid eyes on you. But I am. Your shaky mascara-rimmed gaze shakily moved to the tall, handsome, sickly Englishman in the doorway. Hello, love! You're like my property by gum.
What?
You were at a loss for words. Mommy! She rolled her eyes at you. You turned to look at the Beetle Boy, gawking. You weren't like most girls. You did not care about pop groups and did not care to keep track of them. You didn't listen to Monkees or Beach Boys or Rolling Stones or any English otherwise rock pop group. You were born in the wrong generation. You listened to real music like Henry Hall, Russ Morgan, Rudy Valley, and the Andrews Sisters. That's so real. I love all that. Everything written nowadays was loud and tasteless, lacking in melody or soul. You didn't even know the Beatles by name. Whenever you saw their records in shop windows, you turned your head in the opposite direction, only to the detriment of getting hit by a car twice, different cars. Oh my god. Where she did get off bringing this Beatle, this personification of artistic mediocrity, into your line of sight, much less selling your personhood to him. That's right, you stupid bee! I'm tired of playing your ungrateful ass. Oh my god, please, okay. For 18 years, you have drained my fun money. It's about time I get some use out of your existence. You would have cried, but you could have seen this coming. Since age 5, she had told you the story of your conception. It had been in the car park after a 9 Inch Nails concert.
What?
It took 9 inches to nail her, but only 1 to break the condom. Your mom was a long drag from her took a long drag from her cigarette. Beatle Paul McCartney was still standing there. You turned to him, pink in the face. You're Paul McCartney of that Beatles band. That's right, love. You were staunchly uninterested in any modern music nor modern celebrity affairs. So you know very little of the gossip or the boys themselves. Oh my god. However, looking at him properly and up close for the first time, you notice he looked like Clara No, literally. Oh, Sasha's based for that. You always thought she was hot. You sold me to a musician? She took the cigarette from her lips, looking bored. Yeah, love. You were incredulous. I don't know these words. Big words. How? Gumtree? He turned to McCartney. You bought me on Gumtree? McCartney was screaming cheekily. Oh my god. Yeah, love. He winked. These sprites are so good. Your hands shot to your head, trying to process this. Core, it was almost 8:30. You were going to be late for English practice. You were on Gumtree one day and, I don't know, decided to buy a person? Paul McCartney licked his lower lip. Yes. There was a beat of silence. Whatever for? Oh, Paul made this face. Oh my god. Though the image from the Robert Whittaker photo shoot of 25th March 1966, oh my god. Best known as the origin of the infamous Butcher cover, this game takes place in November of 1963. The 22nd of November. Therefore, you will need to use some imagination. That's all. Thank you for that note. Your mouth fell open, but you were no closer to the truth. You turned to your mom. How much was I worth, huh? 10 pounds. Your jaw flew open, more offended than before. Mom, she shrugged. It's more money in 1963. I paid off the British mortgage. You sighed in defeat, slumping over. Groovy. That's settled then. You walked through the doorway, grabbing you by the arm. Let's go, slag! You resisted. Fee upon you, mother! She flicked her cigarette onto your baby photos. She was using them as an ashtray. Beatle Paul McCartney came, not in that way, you pervs, XT, between the two of you in a huff. He did not wink. Well, ladies, I've had it up to here with your bickering. Oh my god. I've got my 2 fivers right here and have come to complete my purchase if it's all the same to you. You blushed, his firm tone making you quiver. You sighed in resignation. McCartney nodded. You let him drag you out by the arm, out of the only home you would ever known. Oh my god. Wow, this is such a beautiful drawing. Oh my god. Look at that. Oh, this game is Can't Buy Me Love, but it's a Beatles visual novel by my friend Brameliana. It's on her website. I think it's brameliana.itch.io. I have a video of this announcement for this live, and I have the link in there. So y'all check that out if you want, because no, this game is so good already. I'm gonna save it. Yeah. Okay. You had your arms crossed moodily the whole ride to the Beatles' house. No. Notice this scene. In this scene, Paul is driving. However, this would be historically inaccurate. As it happens, Paul shouldn't be driving in November 1963. He shouldn't be driving at all. Oh my god. Following the Beatles' appearance at the Mersey Beach Showcase in the Tower Ballroom, New Brighton. 14 June 1963 at 11:45 p.m., Beatle Paul was driving on Seabank Road in Wallasey. McCartney's car was paced for 0.2 of a mile, going 50 to 55 miles per hour. When advised of his speed and asked for an explanation, McCartney made no reply and was unable to produce driving documents. In fact, he was unable to produce his driving documents until the beginning of July. The reason the naughty thing was on tour. This was McCartney's 3rd speeding conviction that year, according to the alderman W.A. Hanford presiding. At his time, he was taught a lesson. Ultimately, Paul was fined £31, £545 in today's money, and yes, disqualified from driving for a year. Sasha, why are you putting out this? It could be possible that this happened in the world of Can't Buy Me Love also, and Paul chose to drive regardless. What a naughty little thing! Humph. McCartney clicked his tongue. Would you stop doing that? You turned to him, unhappy. Doing what? Paul turned to you. He didn't wink, then back to the road. You were driving on the left side of the road, because that's how English roads were. Paul sat on the right seat of the car, and that is how English cars are, despite Paul himself being, left-handed. I can't. Stop making sounds. I'm trying to concentrate on the radio. He smirked, turning to you. Listen. Paul turned up the knob. Not that knob, you pervs, XT, of the radio. Your hands immediately shot to your ears in disgust. It was that horrid rock and roll. If only you still had your book bag, you could put it over your head in defiance of that wicked sound. If only Paul hadn't burned it at the side of the road, forcing you to watch in horror from the locked car as your only possessions left in the world went up in smoke. You glared at him. Paul frowned, then looked a little upset. He shut the radio off. It's my song. You scoffed. I'm sorry, I only listen to classical channels. I didn't know it was your song. You had not intended to insult him directly, yet you still covered your ears. You watched the landscape as you drove past. It was very gray, it being late autumn. Paul, ... Before you can finish the thought, McCartney cut in. That's Mr. Paul, too! Though his tone was pleasant, it didn't seem like a joke. Or just sir, if you're not a chatty rod. I bought your personhood, love. Paul's Ford Consul Classic pulled in the driveway of 57 Green Street, Beatles pad. Welcome home, love. His cheeks became even puffier when he smiled. He unbuckled his seatbelt and stood up. You tucked your hair between your ears, sighing.
Between your ears.
Or behind, was it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, behind. You haven't even gotten to pack a suitcase. Paul had burnt your last earthly possessions. You didn't know why he did it either. Shouting at you to keep watching, B! Oh my god, bye. B is literally right here. I didn't even notice that. In any case, he seemed to be in the state of arousal during the act. The flames glinting against those soulful eyes that drove all the girls mad. Like a gentleman, he came around to open the car door for you, offering a hand. You blushed. So, love, you're not a fan of the Fabulous Four? You shook your head, though not as vehemently as before, feeling some guilt over insulting him directly earlier. Not really. Oh my gosh, Jonathan said hi. Hi, B.
Hello.
Guys, we love Jonathan. Oh my god.
Do you want to come over today?
We want to see you today.
Or we can go over to yours.
I'm a freak, just let me know. No, literally, please text us. I didn't even know your names until today, that is. I know your name. You shrugged. Paul winked. Alright then. You've already met me. Of course, that is the fabulous Paul McCartney. I play bass. Didn't want to mind. You know, nobody wants to be a bass player. The fat guy in the back. But I don't exactly fit the archetype, do I? Next, there's John Lennon. Oh my god, the pictures. I can't, so we're just doing it for everyone. He is our rhythm guitarist and the other half of the legendary Lennon-McCartney songwriting partnership, which I am the other half of. People will say he's rough, but he's alright once you get to know him. We officially met on 6th of July, 1957 at the Wilton Village Fete. I think it's Fete pronounced? I don't know. Though I had seen him around our hometown of Liverpool, England. You know, on a bus. That's where we're all from. That's why we speak in this strange foreign dialect. I was only 15 at the time, but after I played Eddie Cochran's 20 Flight Rock, Jane Vincent's Beep Bop Boola, and the medley of Little Richard songs, they was begging to have me. Ha! Focus, okay. He seemed to be in a state of arousal again, talking positively of himself. Of course, in those days, we were called the Quarrymen. Next in the lineup is our lead guitarist, George Harrison. Please. Yay! So cute. I was the one who brought him in, you see. He's a year younger than I am, so imagine what he has to 17-year-old John. No, literally. But his rendition of Raunchy got him in. He's rather good, see? Paul winked. But anyway, I met him before that, you know, on a bus. There was a pecking order, you know, George is younger than me. He will always be younger than me. I gotta keep him below me where he belongs. Oh, and our drummer. He's called Ringo because he wears rings. Together we I can't! Together we are the fabulous Beatles. Oh my god. Yeah! Oh my god. You walked through the white archway that led through the front door, then up a staircase. These pictures. In autumn 1963, the staircase railing would have been painted white, and the curtains would be dark and in a different style. I apologize for this inaccuracy and hope it does not ruin the immersion of the game. Girl, it's not. It's okay. Doesn't Paul just look so handsome in that photo? What a charming smile. I love Sasha providing her resources, God. Until you finally reach the flat's door labeled L. Paul shouted in his jovial Scouse dialect, garbled in its primitive northern English intonation. Hello, lads, I've brought a woman. Make sure to feed it this time. Oh my god, they're so cute. You walked into 3 young men at a table, seemingly having their morning tea. Their expressions were far from warm. They all looked surly, sat there with their horrible mops of hair. The one on the left had a gaunt face and intense eyebrows. He looked like a stick bug in his limbs and angular nature hunched over his rations. When he opened his mouth to drink, he had quite a set of teeth. The one in the middle had a pointy nose.
groceries.
Oh my god. Bye! I did not know the camera was like covering. Oh my god.
No, I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. Oh my god, I genuinely don't know if I have the camera on here anymore. Either way, no more camera, whatever. The one in the middle had a pointy nose and a square jaw, but almond-looking eyes. He looked quite similar to Juliet Greco if she were an Englishman. He was the stockiest of the lot. The one on the left was the smallest.
It's like cover and back.
Cover it back! Oh! Stop! They did Ringo dirty. No, he's beautiful. The one to the right was the smallest. He had big sad eyes like a basset hound. Core, how far society has fallen if these are the idols of the young.
Fuck. So fucking mean.
By gum, Macca, you've got to stop buying hookers.
Ugh.
Paul joined them at the table, taking a seat. However, there was no seat for you. God! He remedied this by pushing down on your shoulders until you were sitting on the floor. It's bad for our image if you're trifling with proxies. Just F regular broads like the rest of us. Paul groaned to himself, rolling his eyes as if he'd heard that line many times before, hands in his coat pockets. Well, I do F regular broads, right? But as long as as I've told you lads already, I've got unique tastes only a hooker would be accustomed to. It'd be worse for us if I divulge into a regular bird and she runs off to the press. Paul bit his cheek, muttering to himself. Discretion is preferable in this scenario, you know. He then brightened and pulled you by the arm. But Carlos is no hooker, actually. I brought her up, bought her of her mom for no less than 10 quid. There seemed to be a record scratch, but despite being a music group, these were men of flesh, not in LP form in the present moment. Good lord, Macca, you bought an effing girl? Paul, you can't just buy an effing girl. Paul held out his hands. Lads, come on. How often do you get the chance like that? I was reading the paper, you know, and I saw the listing. Well, we got that album coming out tomorrow, so we've got the money coming in. Isn't that, you know, illegal? No, literally 10 quid. Isn't that illegal? Come on. Better me than someone else,
Oh,
not the members.
That's what Ringo said to George.
What? What?
Better you than someone else.
Oh my god. They gotta work on the Minecraft trailer song. No, literally, Jonathan. Oh god, someone said the Paul ending is so bad. There's 4 endings to this.
Oh my god.
But there's no Ringo ending. It's so sad. Now the members were looking at you. You didn't like being watched by them. That one had a rough sounding voice watching you with beady little eyes. You could say, we would say to take her back to her mother, but as she sold her for 10 quid, not sure if that's a good idea. It was becoming a bit much for you. It had been one hell of a morning, and it wasn't even 10 a.m. Core. You pressed your palm to your forehead, pushing back your hair. You spoke, questioning the group despite the flusteredness you felt. So how's this gonna go? The broad one looked at Paul. She talked. Shh. Well, go put her somewhere then. Paul was cheery again. He rubbed his hands together, then turned to you. Okay, let's get you acquainted then. Oh my god. Hold up. Can you hold this for me real quick?
Yeah.
I got thirsty.
He needs a water break.
Right, there should be a Ringo ending. I wish.
I feel like she would be able to come up with way more insulting things to happen in the Ringo ending.
Right, no, like, just be like 2 boxes of dialogue, and that's the ending, not like a whole route or something. The flat wasn't as large or decadent as you would expect for a group so popular. Granted, they had only really blown up in the past few months. Not that you would know, as someone greatly uninterested, but you didn't recall seeing much on them early in the year. It did seem that the flat was hastily furnished, as if recently moved into. That could be the case. Also, it was possible the group was usually on the road, so decorating wasn't a high priority. In truth, every day in November 1963, the Beatles played a different UK venue, except for 3, which were non-consecutive, one of which was due to illness. For the sake of the game, we will pretend this was not happening. Work hard, play hard, Beatles. And by play hard, I mean wank together. He sighed. There was a burning question unable to help but come to the forefront of your mind. Paul, ... Yeah, love? Why did you take my things and burn them? Oh, that, love. His back was turned as he walked, but you can see him perk up. He turned his head to look at you, then winked. If this explains it, when I buy things, I only want what I'm buying. I don't want any extra color or freebies a business is trying to offload onto me. But don't worry, love. If you need anything, I'll buy it for you. He winked. I'm sort of a big deal around here. I'm good. Thank you, though. They're so narcissistic, they have pictures of themselves up everywhere. That's so funny. Can Paul buy me a rose toy? No, literally, please! Paul stopped suddenly, nearly causing you to bump into him. You blushed, adjusting your dress. Yes, this room! Oh my god, Sasha, you did such a good job drawing these rooms, like extending them. Oh my god, because we only see part of the picture. Welcome to my swinging pad. I was out when we chose rooms, so mine's the smallest. Of course, I never had a girl complain before when I brought her in here. He stalled before coming through the doorway. Well, you mumbled, your hands linking behind you, your shoulders raising up. Paul's head tilted. You blushed. Paul, he cut in, speaking in the proper accent. Sir! Sir, Paul? You might not be the usual type of girl, but you still had your virtue and dignity. There was ... only one bed. Your pad's nice and all, but I thought you were showing me my accommodation. Paul chuckled to himself as if the answer was obvious. In here, of course. What? Paul waved a come here motion, perhaps endeared by your bashfulness. Come in, I'll show you. You paused, your hand resting on the doorframe. Show me? Paul gestured for you to come, seemingly excited. You stalled a moment longer, but then walked through, looking where Paul was pointing. Happily, Paul strode to a very large dog crate set up in the corner of the room. Oh my god. He patted the top with his hand. Your mouth fell slack. You were at a loss for words. Paul's eyebrows drew, seeing the expression on your face. Don't you like it? He looked down at the crate, seemingly disappointment. Core. You just stared at it. I made it nice for you. His tone seemed reassuring, gesturing to the crate, trying to get you to come around. Look, I've got a cushion at the bottom so you don't have to lie on the bars. And a nice blanket here. He crouched, lifting it up by the end, smiling at you. And his eyes opened wide, smiling. Oh, and look! He opened the door, reaching in. He ruffled through the blanket, then pulled out what looked to be a stuffed toy. He held it up to you. Women really like cute things. Oh my god. Must be why I get so laid so often. Your mouth twisted in distaste. Paul. Sir? Sir, ... In case you haven't noticed, I'm not like most girls. Paul winked. He stood up, straightening his nicely fitting suit. He held the door open. Well, love, the lads and I have got to record for a bit. Get in. Oh my god, it going quiet too. You dozed off in your crate. It was very comfortable. You could.
Everybody faced.
I know. No, I mentioned this earlier too. It was very comfortable. You could feel the care Paul put into it. The blanket smelled just like him. C-word and cigarettes. Eh? You were being roused from your slumber. By Paul? No, it wasn't. The scent was not that of McCartney. Instead of Seaward and cigarettes, it smelled like 10-foot stuffed cigarettes and tobacco original eau de cologne. He had awoken you deliberately, or perhaps consequently, out of curiosity. Oh, whoops. A finger was prodding your side that pressed against the bars. Honestly, let me save. I'm scared. Me, like, as if he's actually there. Like, as if I'm actually, like, in the cage. Oh my God, George! Yes! Everyone's so excited for him. You turn over, somewhat annoyed by being disturbed by this stranger. To your surprise, it was the third one from the group. You did not know their names still, despite Paul's efforts. In real life, which this was, there are no floating glamour shots to accompany the verbal descriptions. Your body twisted to look at the male over your shoulder. There he was, staring. You've woken me. You weren't cross with him, but you felt the need to break the intense silence. Hello. He had a funny way of speaking. They all had a strange foreign dialect, but his the most so. He crouched in front of that cage, all bent and angular. Sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. That's okay. I was just dreaming. Nothing sexual. Not anything about Paul either. That would be weird.
Oh,
to have a sexual dream about Paul. Yes. It was a very good crate, and you were able to sit up properly. You weren't able to kneel, but that was okay. What was Paul, the Queen of England? A millionaire with unlimited means, able to afford a crate for kings? Yes. What's your name? Carlos. What's yours? He looked confused. You don't know me? You felt proud, crossing your arms, your elbow bumped against the crate. I'm not like other girls. The music is so giddy for you and for being in a cage. That's so funny. I don't know the modern music groups or anything current. I like old music. Oh. He couldn't put his hand through the bars of the cage, but he slid a long, gangly finger through one of the openings. My name is George. I play lead guitar because I am the best at guitar. He would also have a stellar solo career. Yes! Based! And the objective best solo debut out of any of the 4 Beatles. All things must pass. Yes! Sasha is so based. Oh my God. Ugh. Imagine, get it. Coming out with effing McCartney 1, then George dropped this effing 4 discs of straight fire, blowing you out of the water for the rest of your musical career. No, literally. He's obviously the best, and his lead guitar was a huge part of the Beatles' distinct sound. It makes the songs. And does he get any recognition from those H words, Lennon McCartney? No! This is why the breakup of the Beatles was a good thing. F the Beatles, and if they had to break up, all things was past to exist, then good effing riddance. Let George free to surpass and declare his independence. No, literally. Sasha ate with this dialogue. It's nice to meet you. You weren't sure what to do with the finger. As handsome, formidable, and respectable of a man George seemed to be, he was still English. You didn't know where that finger had been. Do you like being in that crate? You weren't expecting that question. You looked down. Yes. I love this crate. It's very comfortable. Paul made it just for me. George frowned. You shouldn't be in the crate. You blinked, looking up at him, surprised. This was the first time you were hearing such a thing. Aren't you a human being? Though his tone was firm, you felt there was some concern within it. Don't you have rights as a citizen of the crown? Don't you have the right to not be kept in a crate? You blushed. Well, I'm sure Paul has a good reason to put me in this crate. You twirled your hair girlishly. I mean, I don't know what trouble I might get into on my own. If you say no, George rolled his eyes. If you say so, bye. Your house broken? Well, yes, I mean... Well, oh my God, his smile was so cute. He gestured with a gangly hand.
The smiling voice.
You ought to be free. It sickens me seeing Paul lock up a lovely lass like you up like an animal.
He's like the most age-appropriate one, too.
How age-appropriate?
Because he's like the youngest one and she's in high school.
Right? Like, oh my god. Water. But I was just thinking about that too earlier. Like, oh, I just turned 18 and it's 1963. Interesting. Like, but it's whatever. You've got the same rights as the rest of us, don't you? Oh my god. Which one? I don't mind being in the crate, or you're right, this sucks.
Go with George, go with George.
I'm gonna say you're right, this sucks. You blush, flustered all of a sudden. His words, they were so impassioned. It was crazy to think, but maybe you were worthy of the same rights as any other English man or woman. But of course, this made sense, coming from him. Unlike both Lennon and McCartney, George Harrison had a human soul. He was capable of empathy, compassion, and even love, romantic or otherwise. You're right, this sucks. Let me see.
I'm sure a lot of people in 1963 said this.
You blushed, toying with your soft feminine head hair. That's awesome. You think I'm pretty? George blushed. He looked like a house cat. You like that? None of the Beatles had a cat in the house because of a variety of reasons, primarily being blacklisted from all British animal shelters due to their smash hit. It's okay to leave your dog in the hot car. Oh my god, she's so awesome. George looked bashfully to the side. He was smiling, and what formidable teeth, too. Hey, Carlos. Yes? Would you like a jelly, baby? You got a splitting pain in your forehead, but just as it quickly passed, you smiled and nodded. Through the gaps of the crate, George pushed a single piece of candy. You caught it.
Let her out here.
Right? I'm still in this crate. Ta very much. Well, I'll see you around then. Suddenly nervous, George looked over his shoulder. Best not to have Paul see me talking to you. He'll start breaking the mirrors. He got up and scurried out of the room, but not without a parting smile and stilted wave. What a charming fellow. The jelly baby tasted awful, too chewy and a terrible aftertaste. You spat it out. English candy.
Oh no.
I'm gonna save it again. Sigh. You rested on your chin. You shut your eyes once again. A sound! Your eyes flitted open. You sat up in your crate, ears perked up.
Girl.
It's so funny. You heard the unmistakable sound of English shouting and banging away outside. McCartney and his other flatmates must be arriving home. You perked up further. You heard footsteps running to your door, the familiar feminine gait. I'm gonna save it here actually because I know what's going on with the picture. The door flew open. Hello, love! He cheerily strode over, unlocking the crate's latch. I bet you're happy to see me. He blew a kiss and gave me a wink. How was the crate, love? Do you like it? Oh my god.
Fuck no.
F no! Who the H puts another human being in the dog crate? Paul frowned. You've got a foul mouth on you, don't ya? He didn't seem very happy. Paul kneeled in front of the crate, unlocking it. Well, come on then. He opened the door. You shifted somewhat uncomfortably as you climbed out of the crate. Paul seemed to cheer up again, moving past the unpleasantness. Well, love, let's go downstairs. What for? The lads and I are gonna chat for a bit, you know? They've all got birds down there to sit on their knee and not talk, he winked. But not me. I've already spent my 10 pounds of the day. He sighed. Come on, love. You followed him out of the room. It was nice stretching your legs after being in the crate for 7 hours.
Oh my god.
Walking into the common area, you once again caught an eyeful of Paul's 3 friends. It was dark out now, though in November in Britain, it was simply meant it was later than 4 p.m. Each of them had a voluptuous blonde on each of their knees, scotch and coke already poured in 4 crystal glasses. You suddenly felt insecure, 6 eyes boring into you, their earlier conversation evidently unresolved. The broad one with the sharp nose spoke in his loud, grunty voice. Hoi, Paul. You brought the gum tree, girl. The other two Beatles snickered. The girls also chimed in. The pretty tinkly laugh many girls had. You blushed, but this time due to the buxom blondes giving you attention. Oh my god, yes! Paul rolled his eyes. Lay off, will you? He chewed his lip. Let me live my life, you know. Can't reach a bloody break today. Can't catch a bloody break today. Oh my god, thank you for the corn, Small Creek! That's so awesome. Paul guided you to the couch, patting his knee. You sat down reluctantly. You looked at the girls, they looked at you. The three of them looked similar, but were all very attractive. You blushed. Righto, lads. Yeah. Hey, lads, did you hear the news? News? News from the States. What's happened? President's dead. Oh my god, this is when JFK got shot. Wow! Hey? Dead?
Oh, his eyes.
Dead today, yeah. They shot him from a car, you know. The president. Yeah, you know. JFK. Huh? John F. Kennedy, the American president. Bloody hell. John F. The president, what? The ruler, you know. So who's in next in line for the throne? Paul, it's like the prime minister, you know. That sort of... Paul, there's no throne in America. Remember that. Call me a net! One more bloody time and you'll be out of the effing band. Oh my god. John shook his head. Bloody hell, lads, this is Franz Ferdinand all over again. Paul laid back and crossed his arms. There'll be no war, Johnny. Even if there is, I'm not scared of the Yanks. We're over here and they're over there. Tell that to Japan law. Well, the war was only 20 years ago, you know, the Second World War, because that ended in the 40s, and now it's the 60s. Shut up. Think the Yanks killed him. You know, the president. We had nothing to do with it. If anything, they'll go to war with themselves. Thought they did that already? Yeah, slavery, you know. Oh my god, slavery's no good. Good thing it's illegal now, you know. I agree, you know, people shouldn't buy other people. Come on, lads! Enough mucking about. Let's talk business. John cleared his throat. So, lads, I think we should have an album where we're all fully nude on the cover. There was a silence among the group. You must be joking. Oh my god, I wish that happened. The timeline. Me moving a pebble, the timeline. Nah, just listen. John gestured with his hands. On the front, it would be us standing, but like fully nude, full frontal nudity. You frowned. Even if you didn't listen to modern music, you didn't want to see that in record shops when browsing for vintage phonograph cylinders. Hoi, Paul, your girl's not smiling. Paul startled, caught by embarrassment. He tapped your shoulder, then murmured into your ear, "You're not supposed to frown." Quiet. Be pleasant, see? He grinned an angelic smile at you. You smiled. The John one seemed placated. Okay, thank you. He rubbed his hands together. So, as I was saying, we'll all be Starkers, see, on the front. All of us in a line? Yes. But not one in front of the other. We're facing the viewers, see, all in a row with our pricks out. You mean we're in a procession like walking in a line, kind of like the Beatles' Abbey Road cover? John covered his face in agitation, fumbling his girl. Damn it, George. It's not difficult to understand. We're all stood next to each other on the LP facing the camera, our out pricks hanging in the wind. Ah, like the Weezer Blue album. John pointed at him, pleased. Exactly! Thank you, Paul. That's why it's Lennon McCartney and not, he frowned at the gangly one named George. Will it be outside John front? Not sure. How about a vote? There was an agreement among the men, hums and nods. Okay, as per regular protocol. I get 2 votes. Paul gets 2. Paul nodded with a pretty smile. George gets 1 vote and Ringo gets 1 vote.
I thought they were going to say Ringo has no vote.
Please! And the birds don't vote. Hold up, let me grab some water. Thank you. get so thirsty so quick because I'm talking so much.
Carlos mukbang.
Yeah, water mukbang. The birds don't vote. Hey. I see. Bye. All for outdoors. There was hesitation, then George spoke up. It's cold in England. The three other men hissed in breaths. John spoke resolute. Indoors. So, yes, Paul? Will it be cut at the knee like the Weezer album? That seemed to cause a quick agitation for the stocky man. No! It's really important the feet are in frame! Oh, God! Such is so funny. That's so funny. But John, if it had to fit our whole bodies and all four of us, he looked around the room to be met with nods. The feet heart, purple heart emoji. Oh my God. It's really important the feet are in frame, purple heart emoji. Our junk will be very small on the LP, not to mention the Spotify thumbnail. People would hardly be able to see it. John's jaw was tight, easy to make his features grim. It's not up for discussion. We can't hide everything away, don't you see? This is about being raw, showing it all. Paul was still wary. Suppose so. George leant over his guitar. What'll the album be called? John sat back in the seat. For Virgins! There was a silence around the circle, each member thinking over the discussion. Well, Paul still seemed confused. Would we be in a state of arousal? John folded his arms. Of course not. Flaccid, Paul. Paul made the ah sound looking down. John took a sip of his drink, but, John suddenly got excited, fumbling the broad on his lap. Oh, forgot to say, the back of the LP, it'll be our asses. John took another sip of his drink. By gum. The back of our heads, too? John was silent for a moment, looking at the man with nothing but hatred. God, no. F no. Ah, I see. We'll be looking over our shoulder. Our asses are still directed at the viewer. John began to surge with laughter, nearly spilling his drink. By gum, Paul, that's exactly it! John looked up, eyes filled with admiration and passion. That's why it's Lennon and McCartney and nothing else, your face twisted. John noticed this, quickly displeased. She's frowning again, Paul. You turned to him. Paul seemed even more embarrassed. He looked at you. That's why you don't order birds off the paper. Laughter around the room, girls giggling as well. You could see their generous chests heaving. You smiled. Paul's voice was tense, now pained. You're not supposed to look at the other girls. Control your bird, Mecca. The lads kept laughing at Paul's expense. Paul began to get irritated with you himself. Come on, love, behave yourself. Don't frown, don't admire the birds. You threw up your hands. Then what the hell can I do? The room was filled with gasps. John leapt to his feet. Oh my God, I'm scared. Ringo pointed at you. Hoy, you're not supposed to talk. You glared at him, then the rest of the rotten English pop group. The rock group that you didn't even listen to, that you never bloody cared about. You even glared at the sexy, well-endowed blondes. You've got to your feet, staring them all down, face hot. Well, maybe I'm not like the rest of the girls you bring here. You looked back at Paul. His eyebrows were drawn, his features dumbfounded, all submissive and dainty, a real Bambi of a lad. Carlos, your heart twinged, but this was more important. You pointed between the three men. I'm not allowed to frown. I'm not allowed to talk. I'm not even allowed to admire these buxom beauties. What am I bloody allowed to do? Paul was next to his feet, laying a gentle hand on your shoulder. Love, I think you've gotten overexcited. He suddenly had a slight smile. How about you go to the kitchen, make us all a lovely pot of tea? You felt hot in the face, realized what you'd done. You weren't the kind of girl prone to outbursts normally. In fact, you were acting just like Mother. It had been a very big day. You sighed. I think you're right. Paul gave you a reassuring smile, and you walked to the Flats kitchen. Oh my God. Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
Drawing.
Yeah, wait. Look at the fridge drawing. H21. There's baked beans everywhere. There's baked beans there. There's jelly babies up there. More baked beans. Some biscuits. Like some milk that's spilled. Oh my god. More beans. What do they say? It's just baked beans. Okay. You began to root around the place, trying to find the tea. You opened the pantry cupboard. You found the loaf of bread and countless tins of baked beans. Opening the refrigerator, you saw 4 large bags of potatoes and 4 glass bottles of milk, lightly brought that morning by the milkman. Sweets and biscuits were also haphazardly strewn around the room. Core, as a British such as yourself, the selection of delectable treats made your stomach churn. You haven't eaten all day after all. Wait a sec. Oh my god, I'm scared. Every time the music cuts out, I want to save it. For the first time, you were out of sight of those naughty Beatles, and not in the dog crate either. Your eyes drifted. There was a window in the kitchen. It was open. You didn't have to do this anymore! Oh my god. You could run away. You could be free of the Beatle horrors. Is that what you wanted?
They said don't jump out the window. You won't get an ending.
I'm scared.
They're all saying no.
No? Okay, stay put. No. Please, another car! Please! Oh, please! I sent the car! Thank you. Oh my god, that's so funny. Thank you for the corn. You saved everyone, Small Creek. No, don't be silly. You turned away. Without warning, you felt a warm body cuddle behind you. You jumped. Paul? No. You quickly realized this wasn't the familiar stench of McCartney, nor did the body have the characteristic softness and curves. The arms were broader, larger build. Core, it wasn't McCartney at all. No, I want that so bad. A gravelly voice burned in your ear. Oh, love, you blushed. You needed a moment to recall his name. He was the mean-looking one. But why was he embracing you in such a way? Realizing his forwardness, the man courteously withdrew. He must have realized he had been taken over by passion. You turned around to face him now that you could. Oh! You were confused, your back pressed against the counter. He smiled a charming smile. Jim? This man's smirk turned into a look of smugness. Now, love, that's Paul. I'm the Lennon of the London McCartney. When he sneered, you could see a chip between his 2 front teeth. That's so cute. Oh my god. But you can just call me Johnny, baby. I'm the leader of the group. He leant forward, resting his hand on the counter beside your hip. Pardon? Is it true you don't care for us? He narrowed his eyes, then lowered his voice to a growl. Any of us. You always blushed when a big, strong man was too familiar with you. However, this was all wrong. You didn't like any of the Beatles. None of them. He smirked. He seemed to be a smirker, whereas McCartney was a winker. Larf. He made his voice... Why did he do that? Why did Jake do that? Maybe he thought he was a silly man. He definitely was. I don't care. Maybe he was a silly man. You averted your eyes. Well, Mr. Johnny Baby... Let's save it. He cut you off. Oh my god, he barked! Why did Jake do that? Please, call me John. No need for honorifics.
Ew, his face.
Well, did you need something from me? He seemed rather rough on the first impression. You had no idea why he was being so friendly. You were a little bit fearful of this one at first. He smirked. Well, Carlos, it's Carlos, isn't it? His voice got lower and more lustful. This is the face of lust. By gum, I've never seen a girl mouth off like that. He bit his lip. Lord, I got a bit hot under the collar. He growled. And then all I could think was me bastard made Macca having his weight with you tonight. Thank you for the corn again. Mama, Mama, John behind you. No, literally,
Also,
that's me with this.
Can we appreciate the clothes? Like, they're so
Dude, the clothes, like, every sprite, the clothes would, like, I would see the stripes, like, move a little. But it's still, like, so consistent. Oh, my God. And yall, Sasha's so talented. She did all this. Was me bastard mate Macca having his weight with you tonight. He balled up his fist and grunted. That prick. He reminded you of a bull, but an English hairless one. To hell with it. His eyes flew open. Sage Paul, I've gotta have you. Oh my God! It's just as suddenly, without warning, he mouthed your mouth. Oh my God. Your eyes flew open, taken by surprise, being grabbed like this. He was rough and stenched with the scent of northern musk. Unlike Paul, who smelled of C-word and cigarettes, his songwriting partner smelled of beer, C-word, and something distinctly himself. You let your eyes shut. No, that was such a Paul scream. What? Suddenly, a shout. Oh my God, thank you for the corn again! You're sending so much corn. Thank you, Small Creek. Suddenly, a shout and the sound of a door swinging open. Oh, what's all this thing?
Oh my God, he's so angry.
He's big mad. Oh my God, the song! This song, we literally played this in the orchestra, the flashback, but also the song played in Help. Oh my God, Sasha, you're so based. McCartney was pissed more than you'd seen him before. You'd seen him cheeky, you'd seen him winking, but McCartney was sure enraged now. Well, he was as snippy as he could muster. Well, Cormaca, let me... John waved his arm, flippant and de-escalating the situation. McCartney's eyebrows flared. Good Lord, John, you really done it now. Did you spend 10 quid? No, I spent 10 quid. She's my Craigslist broad. I paid for her. Get your own bloody slag. Paul's features, which were once cute, were now contorted with fury. His rightful claim being usurped by his... Usurped? I don't know. What's up, dog? By his closest mate at that. It's not what you think, Macca. John's voice was lowered, but this time with emotion rather than lust. I don't want my own bloody slag. I want this one. I want her. A million thoughts were running through your head. Oh God, I feel like I'm gonna have to choose. No man so much as glanced as you before. And two fabulous Beatles were fighting over your hand. And not just any famous Beatles, but the songwriting duo Lennon McCartney. Furthermore, you weren't like the other girls, so it was even more unlikely that this should happen. That not just one, but both of them had the inclination to go after someone just as unconventional as you. Unlike other girls, you didn't have blonde hair. Unlike other girls, you were able to open and even read books.
Shut up!
When you got up in the morning, you didn't have a routine. You threw on a dress and drug a comb through your hair. You must really be in the upside down. He turned to Paul, then back to you. We're in love, Paul. He grabbed your dainty hand in his large, pale, calloused one. You know, John's voice was grave. Might have paid for her, but money can't buy you love. I get 3 endings from this. That's right. Who said I'm in love with you? Or stop shouting. Stop fighting.
Oh.
I swear to effing God, you two are the most insufferable, conceited, unhinged pieces of ass I have ever met. The both of you, good Lord, the thought I would even consider either of you as a romantic partner. You must be deranged, stark raving mad. Paul, you bought me off Gumtree. You saw an ad in the paper and decided to buy a girl. You put me in an effing dog crate. In the short time I've had the misfortune of knowing you, and you've proven every single one of my biases correct. In every sense of the word, you are an effing freak. I cannot believe you even exist. By gum, Macca, you put her in a Shut up, shut up! You're no better than he is. Lennon McCartney this, Lennon McCartney that. It feels like you're a package deal. I've known you even less and no effing better. I bet you put me in the dog crate too if you had the idea first. Barking mad, the both of you. You ran out of the kitchen sobbing, away from those two bloody beetle brutes. You weren't looking where you was running, and as a result, you ran into a solid 178 centimeter mass. Please! Ow. Oof. I'm sorry. Oh my god. I'm gonna get all the endings. Trust. I'm gonna try to at least, Jesus.
He said hello.
Hello, love. His smile faded. What's wrong, love? You sniffed. Lennon McCartney, they're awful. They're in the kitchen bickering over me like toddlers with a toy. George scratched his gaunt cheek with a long finger. So what? That's what the shouting's about. Well, it's always something with those two. Wait, I have to do this live thing. Our girls have run away. You know how women are about loud noises. Don't like them. You know? You weren't even listening, still sniffling. You blinked. You felt it clasped against your arm. You're upset. How about we get out of here, love? Oh my god. You blushed. What? You know. George gestured to the door. Leave the flat, like, you were well flustered now. Really? You blushed. You led me outside? You bit your lip. By gum, yeah. Feel bad for you being kept in a crate. Let out only for McCartney's mind games and constitutional torture. You looked down. Being English, you did not know what a constitution was. You had...
They have a constitution too.
You had very little in terms of human rights, besides the right to eat baked beans, walk in the rain, and ride upstairs on the bus. In England, the buses are red. In Liverpool, the buses are green. Oh my god. There had never been democracy on this island, and unlike George Harrison, you had never been to the States. George was the first Beatle to visit America, having gone in the September of 1963. He visited his sister Louise at 113 McCann Street, Benton, Illinois, then went to New York City. Unlike John, he made it out alive, returning to the UK on October 3rd.
Oh my god!
That's so foul! In Benton, George performed with the local group The Four Vests. They played their normal set during the first half of the show, then returned to the stage and introduced Georgie as the Elvis of England. Aww. George wore a dark suit, white shirt, and no tie. Some of the songs he played were Roll Over Beethoven, Classic George, Johnny Be Good, Matchbox, and Your Treatin' Heart. The Four Vests were given a selection of Beatles records. Two members of the Four Vests gave McCartney, he's the bass player too, and Vernon Mandrell took George to the Fenton Music Store at South 10th Street, Mount Vernon, Illinois, where George bought a Fireglow Red in 1962 Rickenbacker 425 guitar. George wanted the guitar to be refinished in the black to match John's, so the store owner Lester Fenton reluctantly agreed.
And to match John?
Right?
That's so
And
nice.
it's so cute. It's so cute. I don't know. I think the red looked cool, but I trust George's judgment. The guitar cost around $400. Please, nah. Who remastered the Sally face? Please. That's so funny. Reportedly, George had a little idea of the value of U.S. money, so he brought $800 to the store. The Rickenbacker was first played on the public on 4th October 1963 during Ready, Steady, Go. George and McCartney went shopping, and Harrison bought the James Ward single, Got My Mind Set on You. I drove through Benton roughly 60 years later, last September. I knew George came to America in 1963, but I didn't know the specifics. Imagine my surprise at seeing a massive effing billboard of my favorite boy in the middle of nowhere. We were on that trip together. That was the road trip. Oh my god, that billboard stressed me out so much, but it was actually like super cool. Oh my god, I wish she included a picture. And on the side of the road in Illinois, of all places, I wish I could have gone to the museum there. No, literally, but we had places to be, y'all. George carefully reached for the front door. He gazed at you warily. But you promised not to bolt. Oh my god. I'm saving. Oh my god, this banger. I'm gonna get some water too. Drink water. God, this game is so good, you guys. I know you've got no reason to be indebted to me. We've only just met, but if Macca finds I let you loose, he'd surely have me stuffed and mounted. George shivered. Though his eyes so minimally changed with every expression, his shoulders were tense. It's not that I'm scared of Macca. It's just that he's so very unpredictable. He'll smile to your face, then much later, long after you'd forgotten the conflict, you'll find a dead frog staked to your bedpost. Your eyebrows drew. Oh, Georgie. You threw your arms over his spiky body. Of course, I wouldn't do anything to put you in hot water. I must say, even if I didn't care for your group at all, I've changed my mind. You're my favorite. George's eyebrows moved slightly, but you couldn't read his expression. He was a very funny-looking fellow. Oh, wait. I almost forgot. George went into the flat's entryway and began looking through the coat rack. It's cold in England. He was right. It was late November, and it was dark. It was now dark out. George pulled out an overcoat and draped it over your shoulders. There you are, love. The coat was nice and warm, though the arms were a bit long. The fit wasn't too bad. Ta, George. He opened the door and you went downstairs. You gripped his bony wrist, laughing as you were free at last. Oh my god! He's so cute. It was dark out and all the streetlights were on. There was a chill in the air, with it being nearly December. You could see your condensed breath. George smiled, his teeth formidable. Come on, love, it's Friday night in London. Let's go paint the town. Aww. You had an utterly fab time together with a drink and merriment. You almost forgot the bizarre events of the day, all the horrors and confusion. You forgot you were bi. You forgot about your mother. You forgot about Lennon McCartney and their horrid egos. The broads with their having breasts. All was gear. Yes! Oh my god, him being my first stand is so awesome. How do I leave?
Maybe click George
Okay. I'm gonna go. Oh wait, no. If anything, I was trying to figure out how to delete this. I mean, there's enough slots, whatever. I'm gonna try the other endings that we saw, the two other ones. Oh no! Okay.
What?
I did not want to overwrite the save. I put save instead. I lost that save. I'm so sorry, y'all. Oh my god. I'm gonna skip. Okay. Stay put. Oh, skip the choices. Sweet. Okay. You're based for that. Thank you so much. I'm gonna save it here. Yes, perfect. That's like where I was. Oh my god, them fighting. Okay. So, last time I said stop shouting. I'll go with John this time. That's right. John's smirk grew, triumphant. You smiled, John's smugness rubbing off on you. Where did that McCartney get off, buying a girl off her mother? He couldn't buy your freedom. He couldn't buy ... your love. He can't buy me. Love, yeah. I'm gonna overwrite this save, because we did that. Not out, though. It's 22nd November 1963, not March 20, 1964. Lamau, as if. Hint, the B-side is better. You walked to him flippantly. Don't be so jealous, Paul. You flicked his nose. Paul was frozen in shock and didn't react. Don't I have rights? As a citizen of the crown? You didn't see it coming. Paul backhanded you hard across the face and causing you to fall to the floor.
Holy shit.
Ow! Paul wasn't smiling when you opened. Oh my God! Thank you for the corn again, Small Creek. You've given me like the most gifts out of like anyone ever on my lives. I appreciate it so much. Paul wasn't smiling when you opened your eyes, standing over you, chest heaving, hands balled in fists. He looked like a demon possessed. Oh my God, yes, banger again. Just as quickly, John had him by the throat, slamming him against the wall. Irk! Paul's soft cheeks puffed up in a tight grip. Lennon and McCartney were tussling now, struggling and grabbing at each other in fury. John raved in passion, voice thickened by the weaker emotion. Don't effing touch her like that. Paul's tone was that of a confused indignance. Hoy, hoy, I can do what I want. I paid for her. I forgot where it was here. You don't see me snagging your H words, do you? The girl is mine. Oh my God. The doggone girl is mine. Oh, Sasha, you're so based. They wrestled some more. When they forcibly pushed each other away, they made eye contact and glared from a pace apart. One was furious, the other confused and irritated. The rat teeth gritted. You were watching in horror from the floor. They circled each other like dogs. Get off it, John. You can't have rights over all my things. Frankly, I'm getting tired of your boundary stomping. We may be Lennon and McCartney, but we're not the same person or bloody person. First, you want to wank my willy for me, and now this. John clenched and unclenched his meaty fists, his eyes glowing with fervor and animalistic rage. I don't bloody care. Imagine if we had no possessions. What if we shared all the world? A brotherhood of man. You bloody couldn't, Paul, you capitalist F. You went spitting mad, eyes flashing, he screeched. We live in a capitalist effing country. If you don't like it, move to effing Russia. John shouted, shoving his mate. Maybe I will. Maybe I will go to bloody Russia. Maybe they'll want another Lennon? I can't. Oh my God, I don't know. When they began to tussle again, grunting and shoving like toddlers, scuffling and grabbing at clothes, they seemed to not remember what had even started the fight, grunting insults and trying to get the upper hand. You were blushing so much. Lennon McCartney fighting over you. What a big, strong heave. John flung Paul out of the kitchen window. Mama, a fight behind you. There was a faint thunk and a cloud of smoke off in the distance. Oh. About a girl I love. Yes! John turned to you, breathing heavily, his fist clenched, his eyes dark. I'm gonna drink some water. Thank you for the corn! Mama, a John and you? He died it. No, but thank you again for the corn. I appreciate it. You were still on the ground and he stood over you. Mother? Oh no! He leant over you, his meaty paws picking you up like a sack of flour. You wrapped your arms around this big, thick neck, now all sweaty. Oh my! John gritted his teeth, he fumbly, hoarsely from his tiny mouth. That bloody prick. Sometimes that Macca gets me riled up by gum. All right, love? You nodded. A fiery broad like you deserves better than that eyelashed twat. You noticed that he was carrying you to a room that you had passed before. It was bigger than Paul's, if only by a little bit. You were tossed onto a bed. Oof. Oh! Oh! Oh my. Oh. Mama, a John and you. You were made aware of how your dress had rolled up, pulling it down as his big face came closer to you.
Big face.
There was an intense stare to his eyes, narrowed and thin. God, this... I love Sasha's art so much. This guy is so funny. I love it. His nose smushed into your cheek as his chipped teeth clicked against yours and his big, wet, beetly tongue hung The room was pungent with his scent, it being his den, all musky and male, unlike your sweet-scented girl crate Paul had so meticulously created to imprison you. You exhale, wait. Oh, okay. Just a little bit. You exhale, your exhale let out heavy air, the sound of his grunts echoing in your ears. John's big hand, wait. Yeah. Whoa. John's big hands were tugging at your frock, pulling off your stockings. Ooh. Ooh, mother. His voice was lower than you'd heard it before. Core. He was cone-shaped down there! He grunted, his meaty, hairless arms propping him up. His large face was pressed against your cheek, cool against your skin. His ginger brown hair fell in your eyes, and you pushed it away. Gah. What he gave to you was a rough, sweaty, gruntly beetle loving all night long. Oh. Tree branches scraping against. Oh my god, thank you for the corn again. I warned you all. Tree branches scraping against your window, the distant sound of Paul's indignant moans echoing through the night. I don't know. He called you mother way more than once, but he wasn't the only one here with mommy issues. Oh my god! I can't. So that's John and... Okay. Let me load it this time. Edit it here. Let me skip to the next stay put. Oh my god, okay. Who said I'm in love with you? So that's the one I haven't done yet. Your eyes went wide, slipping your hand out from his grip. Who said I'm in love with you? You were gobsmacked, scandalized. John looked at you confused. Well, I say we are, so I get you now. That's how it works. McCartney's rage has not lessened, his sensual, shapely form trembling with it. The girl is mine! The doggone girl is mine! Don't waste your time! Because the doggone girl is mine. Please! Hold up. Your head swung around, looking at McCartney's pretty body and trembling, furious form. You know what you wanted. Or at least you thought you did. And McCartney was right. He did pay for you. As an American British, you knew a thing or two about the free market. You crossed your arms and stomped your foot. That's right. Tears pricked at your eyes. You're a very nice young man, and very silly. I like that your body is healthy and broad, like an old-timey strong man. Yes! But McCartney paid for me, and I want him. You leapt at Paul. Despite his shapely feminine stature, his masculine strength allowed him to catch you. By gum! You wrapped your arms around McCartney's neck, the familiar scent of CN cigarettes. He grunted, looking down. Yada yada does it. Oh, God. John sighed, but his eyes didn't portray defeat. You might have won the battle, McCartney, but she'll soon see which the Beatle is truly capable of satiating his appetite. By gum. We both know it won't be McCartney. Love songwriter, cherry wanger ever. He sneered Englishly, showing off his chipped tooth. Holy! McCartney was pink again, like a flower. You might imagine no possessions, but this is a capitalist country. By gum, Mecca. John growled. Suppose that's what makes us work together so well. The contrast between our ideologies. Ebony and ivory, if you will. Paul gave a half-hearted nod. I'll see you at the wank circle tomorrow morning. Good evening to you. It's so funny. I'm gonna go to my room and shag my broad. Lennon nodded back. Yeah, me too. Until the next, you watched him walk away. Paul squeezed your body and looked you up and down. His tongue ran along his teeth. Well, love, I've got a hankering for a BJ only 10-pound slag can cure. Oh my god. You began to blush, butterflies in your stomach.
What a way with words.
You looked down bashful. Oh, Polly. You're so forward. Paul giggled. He carried you to his room. He nuzzled his neck. His scent was so pungent. Yeah! He tossed you on the bed. Sure, his room was the smallest, but he was right. You weren't complaining. You gazed up at him with amorous eyes. I'm sorry for lashing out earlier. Paul giggled darkly. It's all right, love. I like a girl with a bit of spunk. Oh my god. He began to undress, carefully undoing his tie, mouth lax in concentration. Then he began to unbutton his dress shirt. Hurry up! He sneered at you, annoyed. I'm going to undress even slower now. He moved at a snail's pace as he squirmed on his twin-sized bed. Oh, God. By the time his pigeon chest was revealed, you felt like you would piss yourself or begin barking. He squealed, restless. Yeah, just like that. Keep going. I'll take as long as I bloody want.
I mean,
you began to drool, whining, fidgeting. He sat on the bed next to you, pulling out his stiff wanger. He looked at you, smirking. Right then. Have at it, love. You got on your stomach. Your mouth began to water. Oh, baby. You moaned. I don't know if I can get it in my mouth. You're so big. She had never seen pee before. His face twisted into annoyance. Try then. He pushed your head down forcefully. You began to leak. You were leaking all over the place. You were like a halved orange in one of those machines. You gargled, choking on his generous length. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. There are pics of him erect out there. Rumor has it he's the smallest, but he's probably just normal. Please. But it's funny calling him small, isn't it? It's because I hate him! Paul groaned, tossing his head back. Oh, yes! Look at the sprite. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You were simply giving him the sloppiest head. Your mouth had slurping down his pink English bratwurst like nothing else. Paul groaned. Oh, yeah. This is so much better than eating baked beans. See, tasted like Witherspoon's full English. Right when you were about to moan even harder, Paul yanked you off by the hair. Stop! Tears pricked at your eyes. You reached up to your head. Ow! Paul giggled, employing his classic charm. Sorry, love. But if there's one thing I love more than humping my Hofner bass on stage, it's effing C. He tore off your knickers, letting it slap against the wall with a wet schlock, sliding down slowly, leaving a wet trail. By gum. You were as wet as the River Mersey. He held his blushing meat torpedo in his hand, lining it up to your quivering S word. Oh my god. I'm saving this. Paul gritted his teeth. And I'm gonna take a ferry crossing! Oh, this writing is amazing. I'm literally gonna get banned. No, I'm so scared. He entered you the way his hit single She Loves You entered the public consciousness. Hard and fast. Paul squealed. Ooh yeah. That's it, baby. He plowed you like a cornfield. Rough, enthusiastic. Paul squeezed your T-words. Honk. There was a knock at the door. Are you having S again, Paul? Can I watch? Paul's blurry eyes. That's John said that. Thank you for the corn. Literally cornfields. Speaking of which. Paul's blurry eyes narrowed in focus, looking at the door. Okay. John opened the door and sat on a chair. Oh my god! I don't know if I can show that.
He's just playing tennis.
This is Paul after a workout.
Yeah, this is.
I'm leaving it at that. I don't wanna get in trouble. He stared blankly, watching. Paul didn't even stall in his administrations, carrying on as if nothing happened. He looked at John, confused, even if you were getting shagged rotten. Nothing behind the eyes. This was just normal. But then Paul did seem to get miffed, shooting John a glare. Bloody hell, John. Close the effing door, will ya? John blinked. Oh, sorry. But John got up and shut the door and sat back down in his chair. Paul and oh my god. Yo, this was a freaky end. Okay, so that's not all of them, because there was another one, but it wasn't Ringo. Which I'm like, girl. Let me try to jump out the window.
I thought it was when George is like, doesn't it suck being in a cage? And you had the option.
Yeah. Okay. Let me do that first. Actually, load this. Yes, I will load. Skip. So I don't mind being the crate. I'll say, because last time I said you're right. This sucks. He smiled at him awkwardly. I appreciate the concern. I really do. Wait. But I don't really mind the crate. George gave you the weird look. You're sure? I'm sure. Well, suit yourself then. Good luck, love. He looked over his shoulder, then muttered, best not to have Paul see me talking to you. Oh my god, Willie.
Willie!
I can't.
He just ate lunch. He's so proud of himself.
Please.
Willie, what are the
So Paul will get mad. He'll start breaking the mirrors. He scurried away as quickly as he came. Willie! Oh god. He scurried away as quickly as he came.
Hi, Willie.
Sigh, you rested on your chin. You shut your eyes once again. Let's see right here. A sound! Please, that happened after the fire alarm did its beep. Your eyes flitted open. You sat up in your crate, ears perked up. You heard the unmistakable sound of English shouting and banging away outside. McCartney and his other flatmates must be arriving home. You perked up further. You heard footsteps running to your door, the familiar feminine gait. Hello, love. Okay, so... Wait. Yeah, I think we did this. Okay, so he asked, do you like the crate? Yes, I do, or F no. What?
Last time you said F no.
Last time I said F no, so I say yes I do. You blushed, nodding. That's so funny. Yes, I do. Paul beamed. I knew it. He clapped his hands together happily. See, I made it just for you. Paul opened the door. You shifted somewhat uncomfortably as you climbed out of the crate. Though always a gentleman, Paul offered you a hand. Well, love, let's go downstairs. You blushed. Hey? Paul winked. The lads and I got to chat for a bit, you know. Oh, wait. I didn't mean to do that, but... And they've already got birds down there to sit on. Okay, so we saw all this. But I can't skip. I've already spent my 10 pounds of this. See what I'm getting at? Gave you a sultry look. Blushed, heart beating quickly. Was Paul asking you out? He held out his arm and took it blissfully excited. Wait, I almost forgot. Paul kissed you right on the mouth. You thought your heart was going to be out of your chest. But he was unaffected, still smiling cheekily. You got to hold Paul's arm as you walked out of the room. It was nice stretching your legs after being in the crate for 7 hours. Walking into the common area, you once again caught an eyeful of Paul's 3 friends. It was dark out now, though in November in Britain, it was simply meant later than 4 p.m. Each of them had a voluptuous blonde, each on their knees, scotch and coke. 6 eyes boring into their earlier conversation, evidently unresolved. The broad one with the sharp nose spoke in his loud, grunty voice. It's not letting me skip, even though I've seen this. The other 2 Beatles snickered. You blushed. Hey, John. Wait. Okay, he patted himself on his knee and he sat down, hands bashfully folded in your lap. It's so funny. Paul's hand rested on your hip. You looked at the girls, they looked at you. The 3 of them looked similar, but they were all very attractive. You blushed. Righto, lads. Yeah. Hey, lads, did you hear the news? News? News from the States. Oh my god, this again. The president being dead. Oh my god, so much. Call me a nit. Okay. Now I can skip. Because we've seen all this. Wait. Don't wait. Okay. Okay, we saw this either way. It was like the character like looking at all the girls at the table. Okay. Control your bird. You hung your head, deeply ashamed. I'm sorry, Paul. Paul Softon noticed you were genuinely apologetic. What? That's all right, love. You're still learning. The others were sympathetic as well. After all, in the span of a day, you were bought and sold to the fabulous Beatles. Paul laid a gentle hand on your shoulder. He smiled sweetly. Listen, we got some really important things to discuss here. I'm sure you can use a break from all that. He kissed your cheek. You felt as if you were about to melt. Paul had a slight smile, looking between you and the others. Love, how about you and the other girls go to the kitchen and make us all a lovely pot of tea? You nodded, slowly stood up from his lap. You followed the three other girls into the kitchen. You never know how to speak to women, being not like the other girls in the hall. You assumed they were speaking of makeup and sipful modern rock and roll music. You couldn't hear them as you covered your ears and faced the corner, refusing to be like them. Wait a sec. For the first time, you were out of sight of those naughty Beatles, and not in the dog crate either. Your eyes drifted. There was a window in the kitchen. It was open. Oh my god. It's here again. Should I jump out the window this time? Mama, a window behind you. No, literally. People are saying no. I already haven't. Escape! Okay, I'm gonna escape. Tell with the Beatles! I'm out of here! I closed the game! Wow! That's so awesome. Let me run it. I escaped out of the window and it quit the game automatically. Wow. Please. Oh my god, I have to do this again. I mean, I feel like I got everything though. I don't really need to do this. Like that. Did I get all the endings? I'm wondering.
Did the ending change when you were nice to Paul?
That's where it got me, like to the window. Like it all it did was what is it? Wait, let me extract it actually. No. It was like how you left to the kitchen, how he's like, make me some tea. Mm-hmm. And you had to go to the kitchen. Instead you complied with him asking. You were like, okay. If you wanted to stay in the crate. Is there a Ringo ending? This is not... There is no Ringo ending. It's so sad, y'all. Like... but... No, the game was so good. There is the true ending. Wait, did I miss one?
I was gonna say maybe afterwards they're different. Like if you don't escape and you bring them tea, maybe. Okay. Tom wouldn't want to be into you because he was only into you because you got mad.
Right. I didn't know you have to re-download LOL. No, like this is literally what I'm just doing. I'm not sure either, but I'm just doing this just in case because I like tried to open the application and it didn't work, so I'm like starting it over. I know there not being a Ringo ending is so sad. I'm gonna flip the camera for now. Having more water. Talking gets me thirsty. Okay. Application. Water mukbang. No, literally. I'm sponsored by the coldest. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I have this. Free of the Beatles horrors. So I'm gonna stay put, but this is like after me being like nice to Paul still. He turned away. He spent another hour in the corner until a gentle hand was laid on your shoulder, knocking you out of your deep okay. There's more. Knocking you out of your deep contemplation. Hello, love. You turn around. It was Paul. Feeling better? I'm gonna save it here, actually. You blushed and bit your lip. You nodded. You nearly melted under his sensual gaze. Let's get you to bed, eh? You sighed. Paul was such a romantic. Paul? Paul walked in after you. He had such a sweet-looking face. Yes, love? You blushed. Well, as you destroyed my belongings, and I didn't get to bring any clothes. Yeah, love? What am I supposed to wear to bed? Not a word. I have just the thing. Paul bounded across the room like a rabbit, ducking into his dresser. He stood up straighter, attempting to see, but you couldn't. Then he turned and held out a white nightgown. Your hand went to your mouth. He tossed it to you, and you scrambled to catch it. Do you like it? He winked. I've got one just like it. Your head tilted. Paul giggled, narrowing his eyes. I like nightgowns. He gestured to his crotch. Freeing. Easy access. And I don't just mean for pissing. You looked at him. Come on. Are you gonna try it on? Right now? He winked. Why not? Oh, okay then. You disrobed, unzipping your dress and slipping out of your stockings. Paul smirked. I don't suppose you sleep with your bra on. You looked down confused. I'm not wearing a bra. It was Paul's turn to look confused, his eyebrow furrowed. He pointed at your chest. Then, what's that? He looked down. My breasts? Paul's eyes widened. By gum, so they are. He slipped on the nightgown. Paul whistled. Ooh, baby. It looks nice? I wouldn't whistle if it didn't. You turned around, eyeing yourself in the full-length mirror. You can see Paul's reflection within it and his eye. Paul's musician friends had all retired for the night, banging their selection of well-endowed broads. But you were alone with the man you were smitten for. Oh my god, this picture! Paul began his nighttime routine, which you watched with a silent reverence. You sat on the floor, looking up at him. Paul was truly a beauty. You couldn't believe you hadn't noticed it before, his face all over pop magazines and record shops. You turn your head away in protest, getting into automobile accents, and for what? He undressed so sensually. Paul combed through his dark, soft hair, viewing himself in the vanity mirror. He sat with such grace, his very presence hypnotic. He spoke about turning his head. Maybe I should have prepared you better. I just sprung the common etiquette on you as we went. Though it ought to be common sense, I understand that you're not like other birds. You shook your head. Most girls were blonde. However, you were not blonde. Many girls could not read, but you could often string together sentences, given you sounded them out beforehand. However, there was one and only one thing that made you like the other girls. You were in love. In love with a man. There was no other like him. Paul sighed. By gum. His head tilted so elegantly as he did so. Your body heated, the beginnings of lust. Oh, God. I'm scared. His head turned to you, then he stood, coming closer. Your body tensed, craving his touch. What made you so upset today? I've tried my best to make you at home here. I'd do anything to give you that. You blushed. You could just feel his breath. He was so close. You wanted to reach out and touch. No, grab him. Grab him like he was a woman and show him you were a man. Oh, McCartney. You quivered. Someone like you. You bring the beast out of me. Oh my god, he brings the alpha out. His hazel eyes softened. The beast?
Oh my god.
You gripped his face impassioned. Oh, Mackie. I simply cannot control myself any longer. I must have you. You went in for the kiss, but McCartney turned his head. You didn't make contact. Your chest sank. Unrequited passion? Ah, but love, it's me, ... that has you. Or have you forgotten? Core, he was right. You were of his possession. And therefore... Oh my god! His eyes were dark when meeting yours. Sensual, hazel, doe-like, but very dark. I will have you. This is so scary.
Yeah.
He captured your mouth in a fiery embrace. Hands groped at your female body. You groped at his sensual curves. McCartney moaned obscenely. The fury of your mutual passion was unparalleled. The room shook with your copulation. Pictures falling off the walls, the very foundation of 57 Green Street being violated. Mama appalling you. McCartney cried out like a cat in heat, which he very much was. His body was supple with the virility of youth, and he went for multiple rounds and edges too. Not him gooning. You put your mouth over every inch of his skin. He tasted just like the Mersey, as he was just as wet. The Sainsbury closed at 7, but you went all night long. True and wow. Yeah. I can't believe it. We did it. We finished the game. Okay, I did want to see what would happen if I put in, or like decline the name. Carlos? You've got it wrong, bastard. Sorry. What's your name? Okay, so it just corrects itself. Please. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's it. That was Can't Buy Me Love by my friend Brameliana, which you can check out on her website, brameliana.itch.io. I posted a video with that information. Oh my god, thank you for the crown, thank you for the corn, thank you. That means so much. Oh my god, this is gonna help me pay my tuition, you guys. This is all going to the tuition. Carlos, you need to run. Oh, it's buffering. I see. Okay. I mean, no, we're just about done. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a lovely day. Thank you for coming to stream. Bye. Oh God, oh God. Oh God, oh God. Bye-bye.